Well, oh, my lips are really red from this salsa. Hi. It's all natural. Right? I pinch. I don't use blush on my cheeks. RP? We did. We made a second adventure to the first Ravnica adventure we made months prior when the Unearthed Arcana for the Races of Ravnica came out. So we made some new characters, and we extended the story into a second one that involved the Golgari and the Azorius. And if you want to check it out, Dorak, if you're on our Discord, if you come here to past content and you click on it, so this was last week, and we're actually continuing last week, this week. It's a ship-based campaign. But if you see here, the adventure we made is called In the Game of the Law. And we had character creation, and you could download the characters, and you could watch the videos. We talked about the talked about the rule book. We talked about the setting, and then we did make another adventure to take place after Lone Survivor, which was our first campaign in Ravnica. It's solid content, Dorak. If you have the book, I think it's a good purchase. And I know it's a Magic product, but you can run it very easily inside of Dungeons and Dragons. So I hope you like it, Dorak. And if you have questions on it, even after watching the video at a later time, you can always ask. We're here for you, bud. Same company. Okay. Well, while I'm burning my face with this mild salsa, oh boy. Let's make our Asmodeus Tiefling. It's great creative imagination, Dorak. I mean, I'm biased, given my profession, but I agree with you. Pardon me for blowing my nose on camera. You know how hot stuff is? It makes your nose run a little bit. Anyway. Let's roll a percentile. Do we have a female, male, or multi-class character? We have a female character. In fact, in this case, it's going to be a female Asmodeus Tiefling. We are going to generate her at level... Actually, let's get her alignment first. 2D100s. 8893. Chaotic Evil. Her level will be... Rolled a 23. She's level 7. And will she take an ability score improvement? No, it's going to be just pure natural stats. In the Sword Coast Adventures Guide, there are 12 backgrounds. I'm going to roll a d12 and reference that book. That book will then reference part of its background to the player's handbook. So you do need both. Seven. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. An Inheritor. While we're here, let's see what the Inheritor is going to give us. You're the heir to something of great value, no mere coin or wealth, but an object that has been entrusted to you and you alone. Your inheritance might have come directly to you from a member of your family by right of birth, as an Asmodeus Tiefling. All right, let's see. We get survival +1 from among Arcana, History, and Religion. All right, so survival, and then we'll get to choose one. Arcana, History, and Religion. I guess we'll float it until we know more about the personality of our character. So let's just write down Arcana, History, Religion. And we'll come back and choose. Tool proficiencies, your choice of a gaming set or a musical instrument. Oh my, that's spicy. If only Spicy Larry were here. I don't know, let's roll odds for instrument, evens for gaming set. Odds, instrument. There we go. We'll get a language of our choice. So we will know Common, Infernal, and something else. Whoop. Equipment. What is bringing a tear? This is supposed to be mild. So we are going to have our inheritance. Traveler's clothes. Any items with which you are proficient. So in this case, it would be an instrument. And a pouch with 15 gold in it. Our item is our background feature. I mean, it would have to be mild compared to others hot even. Woo. I'm almost done with it, though. Got to power through it, right? Ta-da! Choose or randomly determine your inheritance from among the possibilities in the table below. Work with your dungeon master to come up with details. Why is your inheritance so important, and what's its full story? You might prefer for the DM to invent these details as part of the game, allowing you to learn more about your inheritance as your character does. And it goes on to say your DM can use it as a story hook, etc. and so forth. All right, so our inheritance... Actually, let's get some... What would be some good music for this? Here we go. Our inheritance is going to be on a D8. We rolled a 1. A document such as a map, a letter, or a journal. Or a gurnal, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Let's roll a D3 and find out. 1. It's a map. Ooh. Maybe we don't necessarily have a crew member, but an important passenger. Someone who's coming along with the officers and is along with the crew, but this map might be a key part of something that this group is going to be pursuing. And so is brought on not necessarily as a worker, or maybe is asked to do some light duties in order to help justify, or actually her presence on the ship. Maybe she has the map and has to run away. Maybe the crew doesn't even know, but she might drop subtle hints. Oh, we should go over here. We should do that. Yeah, I love when the hotter sauce ends up in the mild jar diadems. Hey, I didn't tap out. I finished the bowl. It's burning, but I got there. I got there. Use the tables for the folk hero background in the player's handbook for the basis of your traits. Alright. Let's pop over to it. Person on in background, scrolling until we get to... Here we go, folk hero. Our defining event is probably receiving this inheritance. And so our personality, 2d8, 1 and 8, and then our 3d6, 6, 6, and 6. What for our Asmodeus Tiefling? What are the odds? All right, her personality. I judge people by their actions, not their words. And number 8, I get bored easily. When am I to get on with my destiny? Ooh. Bored and chaotic evil, huh? Selfish and impulsive. That's going to be an interesting roleplay challenge if you were to pilot a character like this amid a group of sailors. Okay. Now for our 666. Her ideal? Destiny. Nothing and no one can steer me away from my higher calling. Her bond is 6. I wish my childhood sweetheart had come with me to pursue my destiny. What happened to that sweetheart? Backgrounds can do a lot for you as a DM to generate NPCs, story hooks, and the like. And 6, I have trouble trusting in my allies. Maybe that's what's making her chaotic evil, right? She is selfish and impulsive. She can't trust people. She misses this childhood sweetheart who may have even rejected her. And she's determined that nothing can steer her from her higher calling, whatever she feels that is. Which can be a very selfish goal. Just because she's chaotic evil doesn't mean she's going to murder the people she's sailing with or set the boat on fire if she gets upset or bored. Because chaotic evil isn't necessarily chaotic stupid. Okay. Let's continue a little bit of random number generation again. Back on track. Let's roll a d12 and determine which class she'll be, and see if it has a special subclass in this Sword Coast Adventures Guide, or SCAG. If it doesn't, we'll re-roll. 5. A fighter. A fighter does, in fact. Oh, Chaotic Blue. It's great to see you, and thank you so much for the subscription. And don't forget, on Wednesday when we have our raffle, I'll count up all the subscriptions, and that will purchase a number of boxes to go into the prize pool. Remember, I'm still hanging on to a mini for you. No, Chaotic Blue, take care of life stuff. We'll be around. Don't worry about that. You got to take care of you before you can take care of other people. All right, so she is a fighter who is going to be a purple dragon knight. Hey, Plunderloot, welcome. You're very welcome, Chaotic Blue, and thank you for hanging out and being a part of the community. Huh. We have a tiefling. Isn't that fun? All right. Fighters are going to get a fighting style. 1 of 6. I'm going to roll 1d6. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great weapon. Oh, all these great weapon fighters. Okay. Now, as a tiefling, we are starting at 4 feet 9 inches tall. Let's roll 2d8. 15 inches. That is going to take us to 5'9". It's going to take us to 6 foot even. She's a tall drink of water. And we're going to take that same 15 and multiply it by 2d4. So we're multiplying it by 8. So we are going to be adding, let's see, so 30, 120 pounds to 110. 6 foot tall, 230 pounds. She's got a thick tail. How come no one ever takes pretty good weapon fighting? It's a solid weapon. It's decent weapon fighting. Chaotic Blue was lurking a bit when I was overnight at a friend's. Saw some of the ship crew builds. Looks fun. Oh, well, I'm glad. And hey, the prior stuff is up on YouTube, too, if you needed to go back and take a look. But Chaotic Blue, this is going to be setting us up for some future activity on the channel that I would like to host. To have a similar concept to what we're building here and now. And then rotating people on a weekly basis and sending them out on missions from a centralized ship. We rolled a 46. She is an adult. And for a tiefling, that's between 26 and 45. So that's a D20. 4. 29. Because we start at 26 on a 1. 26, 27, 28, 29. Oh, stay healthy, Blue. And to you, Dims, I'm sorry you're feeling a little under the weather. Now, an Asmodeus Tiefling gets a couple extra benefits to its description. We'll come back to fighters in just a little bit. Actually, yeah, we will, because that'll be the last thing that we start filling in. Races of the Realms go to Tieflings. The Mark of Asmodeus. Unfortunately, I'm kind of blocking the Tiefling variants here. Here, I can zoom up at least a little bit here. Since not all Tieflings are the blood of Asmodeus, some have traits that differ from those in the player's handbook. The Dungeon Master may permit the following variants for your Tiefling character, although Devil's Tongue, Hellfire, and Winged are mutually exclusive. And so I guess this is technically variant Tiefling, not Asmodeus, but... Your Tiefling might not look like other Tieflings. Rather than having the physical characteristics described in the player's handbook, choose 1d4 plus one of the following features. So let's do that. 1d4 plus 1. 3. Small horns, fangs or sharp teeth, a forked tongue, cat-like eyes, 6 fingers on each hand, goat-like legs, cloven hooves, a forked tail, leathery or scaly skin, red or dark blue skin, cast no shadow or reflection, or exude a smell of brimstone. So we are going to roll a D12 3 times. 4, 1, and 3. One is small horns. 2 is fangs. 3 is a forked tongue. Oh, TJ, thank you so much for that. I very much appreciate that subscription, sir. And 4 cat-like eyes. And Pneumonica? Oh my gosh, thank you. Well, I'll thank you, and those who are going to be partaking in the raffle on Wednesday should hopefully thank you all as well. For your support is what goes into sponsoring those boxes. And I very much... Oh, Diadems, it was a gift. Oh my gosh. Well, then thank you. Thank you, Pneumonica, for hanging out and participating in conversation. Diadems, thank you for gifting that. For when you all do this, it's a show of faith that what you get out of this channel is worth at least $5 if you don't go to the higher tiers. I mean, you can. But if what we do here, if the content we produce and publish for you, if the community, the conversation on all of this, if it's worth $5 to you and you throw it in the hat, I sincerely appreciate it. And it continues to tell me that we're onto something really good, something really nice. And it further makes me want to improve the channel and continue to offer you more opportunities to learn and play and get together and communicate and just be the people that you are and play the people you want to play. Hey, Slaso. Yeah, good morning to you. Slaso, you just got noticed. Well, you noticed us via Diadems. Thank you so much, and good morning to you. And Genemoose, thank you for the follow. Heart. There we go. Here, heart's the size of your fist. Plus, it's putting some pressure under my feet to make sure you guys are going to get some cool emotes to use here. Which you are. You are. Hang on. Let's see, our Tiefling is feral. Increase our int by 1 and our dex by 2. Devil's Tongue. You know the Vicious Mockery cantrip. When you reach 3rd level, you can cast the Charm Person spell as a 2nd level spell with this trait. When you reach 5th level, you can cast the Enthrall spell with this trait. So, Devil's Tongue. Hellfire. Once you reach 3rd level, you can cast the Burning Hand spell once per day as a 2nd level spell. This trait replaces the Hellish Rebuke spell of the Infernal Legacy trait. And we are winged, or winged. You have bat-like wings sprouting from your shoulder blades. You have a flying speed of 30 feet. This trait replaces your Infernal Legacy trait. Boom, 30 feet fly speed right up here. Which, I mean, we have a... Tieflings normally have a 30-foot run, so 15 climb, 15 swim, 30 fly. You want an OWO emote? I am taking suggestions. If you all like, I'm getting ideas and I'm doing like some little fun concepts. If you want an OWO, I don't mind that. I just don't know if OWO is common enough that you know, I would hate to have you you know, for some of you who are subscribed to several other people, you know, if you end up with like 2 or 3 OWOs. Pardon me. A cat butt. Cat butt, chips and salsa, and avocado. These are the staples of the channel. A heresy emote. Okay, so we have our racial details. Well, all right. So blue showed that there are cats and there are chips. So maybe we should go for something unique. There's the avocado or the avocadi, which would be a bit like the Illuminati, but with avocados. And that's already that's an emote we use on our that's an emote that we use on our Discord. So if you like the looks of that, I could upload that perhaps as an emote suggestion. But if there's something in particular, you know, because we greet each other, like we wave, we say hi, or I don't know, if something happens on the channel often enough that there's particular comments on it, then you know, it could be an emote that you'd have some fun spamming. You know, we open boxes of minis. And if there's something that said bust, well, we'd have to be careful with that, I think. But you see what I'm saying? That could be cool. But I want you to have fun and something that's unique, and even something that you can use in other people's channels. Not to try and override or draw attention away, but it's unique and it's niche, but you might still be able to use it in other circumstances if someone else is rolling, you know, because bust could be if you roll on a 1. Bust could be if we have certain characters show up. Bust could be a lot of things there. Avocado emote is a yes, so Plunder Loot likes the avocado emote. Something like a crit fail. Have we done that so much, Plunder Loot, that you would want a crit fail here? All right, these are the racial... now we just need to go to our class, right? Fighters. Let's zoom out a wee bit. All right, now let's go to the player's handbook. And fighter. Let's look at what all fighters get. All right, by level 7, we have a proficiency bonus of +3, right? We're just focusing on this. And we'll have 2 ASIs available to us. But we're going au natural, so it's just going to be stat bumps for us. We are a D10 hit die class, and as we're level 7, we have 7 of them available. All armor, as well as shields, weapons, simple and martial. How should I pronounce that? Irenebo or Irenebo, all in one. Anyway, welcome and thank you for following. I hope you're having fun with the conversation and you're enjoying the content. If you have questions that we can answer, ask them in chat. You're welcome to do so. No tool proficiencies and a strength con on our proficiency or our saving throws. Choose 2 skills. From acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, perception, and survival. Well, our background gave us survival. In fact, we can choose arcana, history, or religion. And in looking at our personality, let's see. When am I going to get on with my destiny? Destiny, nothing and no one can steer me away from my higher calling. I wish my childhood sweetheart had come with me to pursue my destiny. And I have trouble trusting in my allies. That might reflect that she doesn't have necessarily a good insight. We're looking at Arcana, History, or Religion. Probably then, if she's talking about destiny, maybe something that has been foretold in the past, that could very well be a history that she'd take as the other part of her background. With that, now we go to our fighter, and acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, intimidation, perception, and survival. We have survival. I judge people by their actions, not their words. I get bored easily. So if she judges people by the measure of their actions, she might have acrobatics and athletics so that she can perform a variety of tasks and hold people to those standards and see if they meet or exceed her own capabilities. Again, if you think it should be different, you're welcome to offer in chat. If you're playing along at home, you can fill this out differently yourself if you wish. A Lolth emote? Oh, from Lorelania? Yeah, she has some very colorful emotes. Oh, I wasn't aware if there's any sort of controversy there, Plunder Loot. Now the question is, do we make a strength melee fighter or a dex ranged fighter? Well, I guess you could be a dex melee fighter as well. Small horns, forked tongue, cat-like eyes. Just destiny. I judge people by their actions. I get bored easily. She charms people with her special Asmodeus style, her devil's tongue. But her fighting style we rolled as great weapon, so that I think is going to be a big influencer here. We can make her strong. I mean, she's going to have dexterity as well. In fact, she might be very versatile in that regard. You know, she might be maybe not a simple-minded, or she's not unintelligent. But she's going to be more physical, I think. In that case, we should go chainmail. Martial weapon and a shield, or 2 martial weapons. So I guess we could give her... Plundo says it was really bad. Oh, was it, was she in an abusive relation? I mean, we don't have to gossip, I suppose, but was it a case, because unfortunately we have that, right? Where, in fact, there was someone just recently who on stream, abused his partner. Like, you could hear it on camera. And I guess he slapped her or something like that. And, it was, it's a very tragic situation when that sort of stuff, when that happens. Oh, I think he was down in Australia. Plunder loot. It was, I forget the name, but yeah, I mean, when you see that stuff happen, not that there's ever an excuse for that off camera, but when you're abusing a spouse, a family member, a friend, or a child with physical violence or anything else, especially if you're broadcasting on the internet, so I believe he was very quickly arrested and his account was shut down. Yeah, I think he was arrested and bye-bye channel. Okay, so we'll take martial weapon and a shield. Yeah, so we'll take a shield because we can use anything really. We'll take the shield also, but we'll take a greatsword. How about that? Like crossbow, quiver with 20 bolts, and a explorer's pack. She's out on the road, right? She has her inheritance. She's going out in the world. She wants to experience what it has. Alrighty, we are going to get our fighting style, second wind, action surge. Fighters have a lot of good stuff. I don't think there's really a bad class. I mean, people say ranger, even as it is before the errata, which there is current errata out, and it does change the Beastmaster Ranger a bit. Even that's not bad. It's just kind of wonky, or it's really specialized, or it's not incredible bad where, you know, it's literally unplayable. But I think the errata does touch up the Beastmaster Ranger and hopefully brings things a little bit more in line. We're going to approach our martial archetype here in just a little bit. We're going to get an extra attack because we're looking at what all fighters get regardless of their subclass. And we're not quite high enough level to be indomitable, but, you know, that would be to come. Now let's go back to the Sword Coast Adventures Guide, and here's our martial archetype. Purple Dragon Knights are warriors who hail from the kingdom of Cormyr. Pledged to protect the crown, they take the fight against evil beyond their kingdom's borders. They're tasked with wandering the land as knights errant, relying on their judgment, bravery, and fidelity to the code of chivalry to guide them in defeating evildoers. A Purple Dragon Knight inspires greatness in others by committing brave deeds in battle. The mere presence of a knight in a hamlet is enough to cause some orcs and bandits to seek easier prey. A lone knight is a skilled warrior, but a knight leading a band of allies can transform even those poorly equipped militia into a ferocious warband. Now, we say this, and yet she is chaotic evil, and it could very well be her destiny with which she's obsessed. I mean, she may not have taken the oath out of Cormyr because we're not necessarily playing in Faerun. But in the fluff, if we have someone, who is taking something similar, even in a homebrew game, then has she fallen? Is her attitude greatly changed now that she is the bearer of, well, in this case, it's a map? Or does she hold the oath sacred and dear, but her methodology is a bit catterwampus? Yeah, how many times have you heard that word lately, right? Not only have we had a Sverfneblin generated tonight, but you have now heard the word catterwampus used. Chaotic evil, character hunting evil, it does, right? Vampire Hunter D, right? Alucard from Symphony of the Night. Evil hunting evil, supposedly. Right? You gotta know it to really, to get into it. I'm not above debauchery in order to find those who abuse it. Yeah, you can't have some other evil out there overshadowing. That's a very good point too, Chaotic Blue. Maybe she's a little too zealous in her actions, too aggressive, and sees evil everywhere. Yeah, I mean, she might be so chaotic evil, she is lawful good. She just went full cycle. Banneret serves as the generic name for this archetype if you use it in other campaign settings or to model warlords other than Purple Dragon Knights. Alright, so, I mean, instead of Purple Dragon Knight, I mean, we can call her a Banneret. That's fine. Alright, Rallying Cry we get as an archetype, part of our archetype here. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you learn how to inspire your allies to fight on past their injuries. When you use your second wind feature, you can choose up to 3 creatures within 60 feet of you that are allied with you. Each one regains hit points equal to your fighter level, provided that the creature can see or hear you. Now, mixed with her personality, how she judges others, she might even use that healing as leverage over people in the future. For favors, for social positioning, just to bully. Right? You gotta say, please no bully. PLZNOBULLI. And at 7th level, we are a Royal Envoy, or what the equivalent would be to our generic. Purple Dragon Knight serves as the envoy of the Cormyrean Crown. Knights of high standing are expected to conduct themselves with grace. At 7th level, you gain proficiency in the Persuasion skill. Alright, so we'll put that down. If you are already proficient in it, you gain proficiency in one of the following skills of your choice. Well, you don't need to worry about that. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that uses Persuasion. You receive this benefit regardless of the skill proficiency you gain from this feature. Chaotic Blue says, OMG, mind blown. How so, Chaotic Blue? What blew your mind? And we're not high enough to get Inspiring Surge nor Bulwark, but we can take a quick look at them here. Inspiring Surge, starting at 10th level, and you use your Action Surge feature, you can choose one creature within 60 feet of you that is allied with you. That creature can make one melee or ranged weapon attack with its reaction, provided it can see or hear you. And at 17th level, it goes to 2. And Bulwark, beginning at 15th level, you can extend the benefit of your Indomitable feature to an ally. When you decide to use Indomitable to reroll an Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma saving throw and you aren't incapacitated, you can choose one ally within 60 feet of you that also failed its saving throw against the same effect. If that creature can see or hear you, it can reroll its saving throw and must use the new roll. This is... Oh, CE to LG, very profound. Yeah, well, I mean, don't... I may have summarized it as such, but TJ prompted that with... You know, she's a little too zealous, right? She sees evil everywhere. People are after her precious, right? She has this inheritance. She has this map. And given the fact that she's already a fighter who's had training, this could be influencing her mind. It could be breaking her in some way. And not outwardly. You know, people will still see her as a competent, capable fighter, but she's flipping. Or we could even see that LG rolled back to CE. Right? She's now more selfish, and she is now more impulsive. But the world is still viewed through the frame of the oaths she took to become this Banneret of a lord or of a family or of something along those lines. And so she can get along with others. Remember, being chaotic evil doesn't mean you have to burn down orphanages and kick puppies in the street. You're not compelled to do those actions. It simply means that you are very impulsive and you will serve yourself first before others generally. And so in this case, we can give a chaotic evil flavor to her powers, where she's using her fighter powers in a social situation, but she'll only do so to people whom she favors. And she justifies it by saying, well, the strong are going to survive and the weak won't. And so if someone she considers strong is going to fail in something, she'll lend her strength, and even after the battle, she might say, well, now you owe me something, right? Hey, I really saved you back there. Why don't we talk? Whereas, you know, the lawful good would simply do it out of the kindness of his or her heart. Or see it as a duty, not an obligation. Which, duty and obligation are not always the same. If you are obliged to do something, that can breed resentment, right? You have to do it whether you like it or not, and whether the recipients of your actions are worthy of those actions. So obligation can be, I mean, you could do good stuff with it, but it can also breed resentment. Duty might be a little bit more self-compelled. It is my duty to do X, Y, or Z. I am choosing to do X, Y, or Z. I have the option to pursue these choices instead of being obligated to do something else. And so maybe her noblesse oblige, her noble obligation, is breaking down. And because that was a core tenet of who she is, was, it's causing some problems with her. And it could be related to the map. The map could be magical. The map could lead to Dragon's Hoard of Gold. And simply by possessing the map, a little bit of that greed, a little bit of that selfishness, right? The chaotic evilness of red dragons sort of bleeds off of the paper into the Inheritor. A little bit of madness. And so I think the character works well. And I'm glad this character excites you, Blue. Especially because it was fun rolling a 666 for her ideal bond and flaw. And here we have an Asmodeus Tiefling, who, by the way, is listed as a purple dragon, or is illustrated as a purple dragon knight. This is perfect. It's all according to Keikaku. If I can bring wealth to my liege, I can further my standing in their eye. That could be a personal tenet, or one that meant something different and has now been corrupted. But she doesn't see it that way. And anyone who knows her says, well, yeah, that's always been what she's done, but that is a little odd, and that you're describing her actions now in this particular fashion. And of course, what of this childhood sweetheart? Was the childhood sweetheart simply a polymorph dragon that was plucking at her heartstrings? Could she have been manipulated? Maybe the map is nothing more than... it could be a mundane map. But, you know, she'll face dragons. She'll face Asmodeus himself. But maybe she can't face the fact that she was manipulated. Her heart, you know, her love was manipulated. And so she's having to try and come up with excuses, defenses, against this very personal vulnerability. And that's what's making her clam up and be a little bit more selfish and maybe impulsive, because she's trying to rebel against this organized nature. Maybe she blames her old lifestyle for realizing that she has been played by this lover, whether it was a dragon or not. That sweetheart was the gingerbread man. We have a very compelling character, huh? Now that we have the chassis of our character, let's drop in some stats. What do you say, huh? I do like the fact that she is going to be more muscly. In fact, I think we should give her... 15, 14. 15, 14, 13, 12. 10 charisma, 8 wisdom. Now, a couple of you might have just gone, whoa, wisdom is a dump stat? What is going on? Come on. Be reasonable here, Matt. Consider her character. Consider her selfishness. My destiny. I don't really care about other people. I don't need to judge them by their words or their vocabulary. I want to see them do something, and I'm going to make the judgment right there. Maybe she's deluded from this love. I have trouble trusting my allies. All of these are pointing to wisdom as a dump stat. She knows how to survive. That's very personal. Right? That is just that. It's survival. I need to stay alive. So I think wisdom as a dump stat here is very appropriate. And I challenge you all out there to make a wisdom dump stat character and have fun with it. Make a compelling, believable character that has wisdom as a dump stat. Especially if you're high intelligence, low wisdom. Alright, so if we add in our racial modifiers, that's a 13, and we have a cat. Hi. Why get a cat butt emote when I can just put a cat butt on camera anytime we want one? Now we get 2 ASIs because we're a fighter, even though we're only level 7. And so I think that our first one, we should bump up our strength and our con. And our second one, probably our strength. Very headstrong, physically, and not so much mentally. I made a cleric once without knowledge, religion, and Pathfinder. In Pathfinder, it seems like that would be a lot more of a penalty to do. Camouflage, yeah, it is. Or he is blocking me, huh? That's going to make strength of 4, dex of 3, con of 2, int 1, wisdom -1, and charisma 0. 7 and 7 for the saving throw and athletics. 6 for acrobatics. 3s for the others. 2 for con. 1s down the line, except for history, which is a 4. Wisdom, survival's at +2. The others, I'm just going to discreetly copy and paste this -1. And charisma. 0s down the line except persuasion, which is 3. Which actually it'll be a 6, if you think about it, because of the way we can use that by being a banneret. So we have average charisma, but we could be very persuasive, magic aside. And of course, we took the Devil's Tongue variant for this Asmodeus. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, did I do that correctly? No, it does say Devil's Tongue, Hellfire, and Winged are mutually exclusive. So I'm sorry, we'd have to choose there. I put all 3 when I should have chosen one of them. Is going to replace that. Because if we come back to races, Tiefling. Oh, by the way, we do get 60 feet of dark vision. We do get hellish resistance also. So that is resistance to fire. And so, yeah, Infernal Legacy will be replaced by one of those 3 options. I'm sorry, I should have rolled instead of just going for all 3. I even think I read it, so if you're watching this later as a VOD or on YouTube, please don't rage too much at me. Let's roll a D3 and find out which one she's going to take. 1. Alright, so instead of wings, we're going to go back down to a 0 fly. Instead of wings, this tiefling is going to get the Devil's Tongue. It wasn't a long game, but she wasn't book smart. This was very nature family cleric of Erastil. But yes, a few times the GM sarcastically reminded me of my handicap. Well, so I mean, you have faith. You know, you don't need to understand the text. You live the life. You trust in yourself to do the right thing. I have a very happy cat here, by the way. Alright, so Devil's Tongue is the Vicious Mockery cantrip. And then we can Charm Person and Enthrall. Why do we have to explain ourselves and our craziness when we could just make people believe us? Alright, so with that, if we're wearing chainmail but we're wielding a great weapon, that would just be a 16. But let's say it was a longsword and we did have a shield, it would go up to 18. Initiative, ooh, as a fighter, we're at a nice +3, especially because we are a melee fighter. Not too shabby, huh? Passive perception is going to be 9 instead of 10 even, because it's 10 plus your perception modifier, which is -1 in this case, right? So she's so consumed by her own thoughts, she does seemingly neglect what's happening around her. And by the way, I mean, we're medium, I'm going to fill that in. She's no longer a pile of stats. What is her name? What name or nickname or what is popping out at you for this character? Hit points, we get 10 at first level because we're a D10 hit die class. For the remaining 6 levels, it's half +1. So it'll be 6 times 6. Right? 6 levels at 6 hit points. Half of 10 is 5 plus 1 is 6. Is 36. That's 3 6s again. You all saw it. Then for all of her levels, all 7 of them, she gets bonus hit points equal to her Constitution modifier. So here we have 14 plus 36. That's going to be 50. She has 60 hit points. She has a +7 to hit with a melee weapon, and with a dex weapon, she has a +6. That's really good. Lots of options. Yeah, a very one-track mind. And so, so think almost, if Chaotic Blue, if you stick around on Tuesdays, we have a character that's kind of like Jade the Wretched that Macabre Derek plays. Jade isn't unintelligent. She's just very hyper-focused to the exclusion of a lot of other things that are happening around her. She is still passionate and can express herself. But she's at the detriment, at the cost of other things. Belle Murphy, thank you very much for that follow. If you have any questions or comments, Belle, you're welcome to drop them in chat. I hope that you've been having fun, that this character has been inspiring to you. For all of you who are followers, subscribers, if you're out there, if you're lurking, that's awesome as well, and you're allowed to do so. I very much appreciate it. And you know what? This guy down here, this cat who's trying to sleep on, like, a small strip of desk with his paws up against me to brace. He thanks you too. Caught a few games. Interesting to see some of the crew RP. I'm glad, Blue. I'm glad that you're having a lot of fun. Spellcasting, I mean, we're a fighter and not an Eldritch Knight. We do technically get some racial stuff that we can fill in here. But for intents and purposes, this character is finished. And so what I want to do is I want to take about a 5-minute break. Doesn't have to be the full 10. Take the 5-minute. Maybe I'll get this boy. Actually, we have... You want to come say hi to people also? Oh, there he goes. There we go. We had some very nice people subscribe today, so I'm going to give you some treats. How about that? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. They're right here, bud. They're right here. Here. Hey, what's this? Come on. Yeah, Delcorn, I heard treats. Where are the treats? I thought I heard a treat bag from a state away. You did, sir. Here, you want one more? We've had some very nice people follow us and subscribe to us tonight, so you can get some treats. But yes, Delcorin, your ears are trained for the treat bag as well. And not only that, Delcorin, we're taking care of you. We're taking care of your teeth too. Why just have a treat when we can also brush your teeth at the same time? Here, say hi to people. I did, Delcorin. I did have to ruin it with healthy stuff. Oh, thank you. So there we go. We now know that the treat bag summons the cats and Delcorin. Oh, all right. So the cats had a little bit of a snack. I'm gonna get up and refresh my water because ooh, that mild salsa tweren't so mild. I put a lot of that away. And when we come back, what I'd like to do is let's have a little discussion about why we did things the way that we did here. Why did we make more crew members when we made our I was gonna say ossifers, our officers for the ship that we made last week? What does it all mean? What does it mean? What are the signs? What are we gonna do with this information? Gonna go grab a bag of sour cream and cheddar ripple cut chips, sans salsa. I would cry too, but you know what? Cheddar and sour cream is solid on its own, Delcorin. Don't feel too bad. Hey, what's this? Hey. Hey. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, this is what you do to me. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, well. I think my camera got bumped a little bit there. There we go. Hey. Oh, well. I can't get the nose over. I have humans here, but left my chips at BF's. Oh. All right, well, chip and snack break, drink break, go grab a can of soda or whatever, stretch, do what you got to do. We'll be back in 5 minutes and talk about why we did this.